Hello all, welcome to Autobot YouTube channel. Myself Rahul Nixon. Today we are going to learn how you can automate Google Drive using UiPath. So in the last videos, we have seen how to set up the Google Cloud, and we have created the we have created an app in the Google Cloud platform, and we have integrated few APIs and we created the credentials. And after that, we learned how to automate the Google Calendar, right? So in this video we are going to learn how to automate the different activities in the Google Drive using the gsuite package which is available in the UI. Okay, so before going to the automation of Google Drive, the first thing that we need to do is we need to enable the API in Google Cloud Platform for the Google Drive. So let me go to enable APIs and services, search for Drive, and here I can see Google Drive API. So just click on that and click on this enable. Okay, so if you click on enable, it will directly get tagged to the project which you have created in the Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so as you know, we need to first create a project and we need to enable all the APIs to that particular project, and then we need to create the credentials, and using these credentials only we can automate the G Suite softwares using UiPath. So we can see the Google Drive is now enabled, and let me click here. Let me go to Studio. Okay, and let me search for Google. Okay, so here you can see the different activities inside the package, Google Workspace package. And if you don't have this package, what you need to do is go to manage package. Okay, and go to all package and search for Workspace. Okay, search for Workspace, then you will get this Google Workspace package. Just install it. As I have already installed, I am able to see all those activities. Okay, so that's it. Then here we are going to automate the Google Drive, right? So what I'm going to do is just search for Drive. Okay, so these are the different activities inside the Google Drive. So what I'm going to do is first we have to use Google Drive as the container which help to connect with the Google Drive application software. Okay, so let me drag and drop this. Okay, so here what is asking, we need to add that to some account. Okay, and what are the different activities that we can perform on the Google Drive? So we can copy the file from one folder to another, and we can create different documents in the Google Drive folders. We can create separate folders, and we can create a spreadsheet in the Google Drive. And suppose if we want to delete some files, we can do that, and if we want to download some files from the Google Drive, that also we can do. And if you want to search some particular files and folders in Google Drive, we can do that using this find files and folders, and it will provide the ID to us. Okay, so using that ID, if you want to download that files or something, we can do that, or if you want to delete it, we can provide that ID to delete it. And get file info will help us to get the info details regarding that particular file, and move will help us to move the files from one folder to another. And upload file means if we want to upload some files from our local to the Google Drive folder, we can use this upload file activity. Okay, so that's it. And initially what we need to do, we need to add an account to the use Google Drive scope activity. Okay, so let me click on this. As my account is already tagged, I can see the email ID. Otherwise what you can do is click on add new account. Okay, here you can select my ID bar secret, because this is the ID that we created in the Google Workspace application project, right? So what we need to do is go to Google Workspace, click on credentials, click on this OAuth, copy the client ID, paste it over here, remove this, copy the client secret ID, paste it over here, click on OK. So it will ask for an authentication. Okay, so just click on the email ID that you want to use. Okay, click on continue. So this is just a verification. Okay, so we are given the permission to use all the permissions in the Google Drive. Okay, so we can edit, create, and delete all of the Google Drive files. So we are giving that permission to UiPath G Suite. Then click on continue. Then we'll be getting a message like received verification code. You may now close this window. Okay, then close it. That's it. Okay, then what we need to use the other activities inside this use Google Drive. So I have already opened the my Google Drive over here. Let me refresh it. Okay, so the Google Drive has opened, and here what I'm going to do. So this is the root folder. Okay, so whenever if I'm not giving any particular folder path, the files will get automatically created default in the root folder. So let's go to UiPath Studio. Okay, so first what we can do is just create a folder. Okay, so we'll create a folder for this automation. Okay, and I'm going to name it like Autobot G Suite. Okay, so that's it, and create a folder, and where I need to create it, it is inside the my drive, right? And let me go to something. No, it just let it create over here itself. Then new folder ID will be getting over here. So let me create a variable for this. New folder ID. That's it. So what is the error? Okay, we need to select the account. Gmail. Okay, so that's it. Let me save it and try to execute. So please wait for some time. It will take some time to create the folder. Okay, so the execution is yet to start, and once it got started, it will create the folder inside this path. Okay, so let me go here, and here you can see Autobot G Suite. Okay, so this is a new file which got created in the root folder. Okay, at what time it got created? At 9:16 it got created. And who is owner? I am the owner. Okay, and if you want to use some particular path for creating this folder, what you need to do is, this is the ID. Okay, you need to copy this ID, and you need to pass it over here. Okay, if you pass it over here, this particular folder will get created inside this particular folder. Okay, so it will be like a subfolder. It will get created inside another folder. Okay, as I didn't provide any ID, it automatically created over here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, let me open this folder. Okay, now I can utilize this ID to create new documents, new worksheet, and if I want to copy some file from this folder to that folder, I can do that. Okay, so let me do one more thing. Let me create one more folder, G Suite 1. Okay, so I'm going to create one more folder. My file. So it will create one more folder with name Autobot G Suite 1, because we need to see how this move files, copy files and all working, right? So that's why I created two folders inside the root folder. So that's it. Okay, so let me comment this activity now. Okay, so we have learned how to create a new folder, inside the root folder and inside any of the other folders, right? So now what I'm going to do is, let us learn how to create a document. Okay, how to create a document inside a folder. Okay, so just copy that. So what should be the name for the document? Autoboard sample doc. Okay, so that's it. And how I'm going to link the destination folder? Just use enter id, and I'm going to upload over here. Click on that and copy this id. Okay, so this is the id. Copy that and put it inside double quotes. And if you want to get the new document id, just create an id over here, new doc id. Okay, so if you want to utilize this document for adding some details and all, or if you want to delete it, or if you want to download it and all, you can use this id. Okay, so that is the purpose of that. Let me execute this. Okay, now it should create a document inside this autoboard gsuite folder. So there can be different situations, right? Like API has not been. Oh, okay. So I haven't added the Google Docs API. That's why I'm getting this error. So what I'm going to do is, let me go to Google Cloud APIs, enable API. Let me search for doc. Enable this API. Okay, now it should have enabled. Then again go to enable API. Search for worksheet. No, it's not the. Okay, so Google Sheet API. Enable that also. Okay, so that's it. Now try to execute our workflow. So there can be different situations, right? Like as part of your automation, maybe you will have to create a folder, and every day some process is uploading some file to that particular folder, and you need to copy that folder, those files from one folder to another, and you need to make a download of those files, right? There can be situations like that. Or if you want to upload some files on a daily purpose from your local to that Google Drive, and some other automation process is utilizing that folder for some other automation. So this kind of things can happen as part of the different automation process. Okay, so that's why I'm going to explain you in detail about each and every activities inside the Google Drive. Okay, so let me go back here, and here you can see a new file got created. Okay, and as a part of some other process, you can download this file, or if you want to add some details to the to this document, you can do that. I'll be explaining all those things in the next videos. Okay, because in this video I'm just going to cover only the Google Drive automation. So that's it. We have created a new document. So same like that, we can create a spreadsheet also. Okay, so let me drag and drop this, and spreadsheet name, I'm going to name it like a Autobot sample sheet. Okay, and where is the folder is same. Okay, and just create a new ID for this spreadsheet ID, sheet ID. Okay, so that's it. So just try to execute. We have already enabled the API for the spreadsheet. Okay, so let's go back and refresh. Okay, here you can see a new worksheet got created inside the folder which we have provided. Okay, so this is how you can use the create doc and create a spreadsheet activity, and you can create a different documents. And we have seen how to create the folder, how to create the document, and how to create the spreadsheet. And let us learn how to upload the file from the local to the Google Drive folder. Okay, so here what you need to do, you need to provide the path. Okay, so what should be the path? So browse for file. So what I'm going to do is just create a new file over here, new. I'm going to create a test document. I'm going to name it like a sample. Okay, just select that, click on open, and what should be the drive? So use enter ID and copy this ID. Okay, so this is the reference ID. If you want to copy one file from one folder to another also, you need to provide this as the ID. Okay, so just copy paste this, and if you want to overwrite an existing file, you can do that. As part of your automation, daily you are copying one file from your local to drive, and if there is some existing thing, and if you want to overwrite that, you can use this, and or if you want to convert that to a Google Workspace file type, you can enable this one. Okay, and if you want to create a new file ID, you can create it, because if you want to do some action on that file, this file ID will help you. Okay, then execute. So now what will happen, it will upload a local file from a local machine to the Google Drive. Okay, so that's it. Now you can see a new file got uploaded from our local to the Google Drive. So that's it. Let me disable this. What is the next task? Okay, create document is done. Okay, just consider if you want to download some files from the Google Drive. Okay, so here what you need to do is, suppose if I want to download this file, just click on this file. Okay, just copy this ID. Okay, and paste it inside this. And if you want to download this to some particular folder, you can provide that. If you are not providing, it will get download to the project folder. So let me save it, run the file. Okay, let me go to the project folder, and here you can see a new file got downloaded. Okay, so this is how you can download the file from the drive to your local machine. Okay, so let me disable this, and we'll learn how you can copy the files from one folder to another. Okay, so currently inside this folder we have this many files. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this ID. Okay, and the file to be copied, the ID may be entered manually. Okay, destination folder. Okay, that also we are going to use as ID. So we need to get the ID for this file, right? So let's copy this ID, paste it over here. And what is the destination folder? We already created two folders inside my drive, right? So I'm going to utilize this folder for copying. So there is no file inside this new folder, so let me provide this. And what should be the new file name? Okay, so if you want to give some new file name or some new ID, you can provide that. I'm not going to provide any new file name and ID. Okay, so let me try to execute. Okay, so here you can see a file got copied to Autobot gsuite 1. So the copying has happened from Autobot gsuite to Autobot gsuite 1. Okay, so if you want to copy some files, or if you want to move some files from one folder to another inside Google Drive, you can utilize copy file or move file activity. Okay, so even this move file is also the same. Here also you need to provide the destination file, sorry, file path, source file path, as well as the destination folder. Okay, so that's it. And so I think we have already covered a lot of things. Okay, so the another thing is find files and folder. Okay, so what is the purpose of this? Like, just consider if you want to search for some particular name, or if you have some list of file name. Okay, so what you can do, if you pass that file name over here, you will get the file ID. Okay, you will get the file ID, and you can pass that file ID inside a download file to download the file. Or okay, or if you want to copy that from one folder to another, you can utilize that file ID. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so let me copy this path. Okay, so let me copy this path. Okay, sorry, I need to search for the this autobot sample doc. Okay, autobot sample doc. Create a ID. That's it. And here, if there are multiple files which you are getting, we'll get it like a array of files. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just try to execute, and we can utilize that array of files for downloading, or if you want to copy from one folder to folder, you can utilize that. Okay, and so this is very simple. Like, it will search for this autobot sample doc, and we'll get all the IDs which is corresponding to this file path, sorry, file name. Okay, so and if you want to download all the files for with this particular name, you can use that ID for downloading, or if you want to copy, you can utilize that. Okay, and what is get file info? Okay, so this will help to get the details of the file. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me open this file. Let me copy this file ID. Okay, let me create a variable over here, file ID. Okay, let me comment this. Okay, a variable got created with the name file ID, and it is of a type file. Okay, so here for this get file info activity, we are getting the output as a file, right? So the variable type is file. So how to get the details of the file from this variable file ID? Okay, so for that I will show you. I'm going to use message box. Okay, then we can use it like a file ID is a output ID dot. We can get different attributes of that file. Okay, like the name, when is the created time, and what are the content hints capabilities, like that different details that we can get. So let me try to get you the name. Okay, so here what we did, we provided the ID of the file, and we are going to get the name of the file. Okay, so that is the purpose of get file info. Okay, so the file name is autobot sample doc. So what we can do is we can use a find file bar folder activity, and we can get the ID. That ID we can pass it over here, and if you want to get some file info, you can use this output variable for getting those details. Okay, and if you want to download those files, you can use this ID using the find bar folder activity, and we can pass it to download activity, and we can download it. Okay, so these are the different activities which is provided by UiPath for automating the Google Drive. Okay, so I hope you're clear about the concept, and you got a clear-cut understanding about different activities of Google Drive. So if there is any confusion regarding these activities and setup of Google Drive and the Google Cloud application, please do comment in the comment section. I will try to resolve your doubts. So if you find this video useful, please like the video, please share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. So thanks for watching the video. Bye.